You ready? This won't hurt a bit, Carl. All right, I lied about that. Hey, there you are. Woo! Welcome back to Travels with Carl, man. It's been a week, and it's Sunday. I know I'm a day late and $1 short. And, once again, I'm going to disappoint you. I only have a photograph of the next stop, job number 29. It's hard to believe. Today's episode has been brought to you by Harbor Freight. When you just can't wait, it's Harbor Freight. Thank you. Thank you, Harbor Freight, for all the tools you have supplied me so that I can work on Carl. The one battery that I need the most, that's a bitch. You got to take the whole grill out to get that battery. Now, Carl has several batteries. The one is for just like the main chassis of Carl, like a regular car or truck. Got a battery right up front there under the hood. You know what I mean? Does all the basic stuff that a battery does for a regular car or truck. Turns over your starter, provides electricity for all the coil and the ignition and the spark plugs and your turn signals, your horn, all of that stuff, okay? And you got a whole nother set of batteries that are connected with your generator and so that when you want to camp out, you got like lights and a microwave and all kinds of stuff. It takes another set of batteries, and Carl's going to go solar too. Carl's not afraid of science. Carl's not afraid of the future. He's not living in the past. He may be from the past, but he's not living there, okay? So welcome back to episode number 29. Today is the Ritz-Carlton, Boston. And as I promised, I think I promised you this. As I promised, the story of how I got from job 28 to job 29 was a good one. A good one, as they say. In hillbilly country where I come from. Good. It's a good one. To get her done. Those people really exist, and I'm not kidding. I came from that kind of crowd. Get her done. So, Travels with Carl. What is Travels with Carl, you might be asking? Is it just a travel show? No. Is it just a show about you and Carl? No. And by the way, this is Carl. He's a 31-foot motorhome, an Alumilite. It's got a Chevy 454 engine right in here, right under that thing. It's just like a giant Ford Econoline. I swear to God, you could take this cover off, you could look at the road going by underneath us. Which I'm going to do that. In fact, I'm going to think about getting a clear plexiglass one made so I can see the engine while we're going down the highway. That'd be cool, right? We got the technology today to form something like that, no problemo. So, it's about me. It's about Carl. It's about travel. But most importantly, Travels with Carl is a 52-episode series, a giant 1-year-long piece of artwork comprised of 52 chapters, each chapter representing a job that I've held in my life to support my habit of being a professional artist. Now, Carl hasn't been with me for the whole journey. Carl joined me, and I lived in Carl for a year before I bought my first house to save up money for the house. And now Carl lives in a gated community over here in this gated parking lot. I do some work on him because we're going to go over and see Mount Olympus and the Hoh rainforest this summer. Cannot fucking wait. I know Carl can't wait either. But he's not going anywhere until his power steering gets fixed. I get new batteries all the way around, and you know, I got my AAA motorhome insurance, so just like a regular car, if Carl breaks down, he's getting towed home or to the nearest AAA recommended garage. Anyway, so it's sort of a metaphor about my life and a story of my life, which has been comprised of a lot of jobs. Has been being an artist, a writer, a painter, a dancer, a musician, a singer, a comedian, whatever kind of theater, book writer, printmaker, painter, sculptor, ceramicist, ballerina, whatever it is that you do to get your artistic mojo running. It's not an easy lifestyle, okay? A lot of us sign up for this at a young age. We're like, we know what we want to do when we're in first grade, like I did. Anyway, it is what it is, and here I am. I'm 68 years old. I have worked over 52 jobs. In fact, I kind of feel like telling you what I'm actually doing now, because it's not really a job, it's a business. But I don't know if I'm allowed to give that away, because I guess technically it's no, it's not I've got other businesses included there, and I'm listing them as jobs, so I guess I have to keep it secret for another 23 episodes. Yeah, because we're almost to 30. So don't worry, it's another 6 months. You'll be fine. I would like to tell you what I'm doing, though, just so you know. It's not that I don't want to tell you. Okay, so all along the way, these jobs have sometimes been much more than just a regular job. They brought me a lot of different things besides the paycheck at the end of the week. Okay, I learned a lot of skills along the way because, as you know already, you've seen me. I've done everything from working in an Italian delicatessen to cooking Mexican food in the Hawaiian Islands, to working at the Pioneer Inn Hotel, to working at the Four Seasons in Boston. I've lived in 12 states and visited 47 of them. All right, I like to spend a little time every episode on what Travels with Carl really is. Because I believe Travels with Carl is a really unique YouTube channel. I've never seen anything quite like it. And it keeps evolving. But there's two things besides Travels with Carl that I like to plug every week. One is a book that I wrote, published it in 2017, called Amendment 21-A. If I have one mission in life, it's ending prohibition. Let me just read this much, just one paragraph to you, okay? And this book is available on Amazon. Just go to the book section, type in Amendment 21-A, and if it doesn't come right up, just type in my name, Richard Van Gogh, or Rich Van Gogh, under author, okay? What if changing one thing could change the world? This is that one thing. Ending the quote-unquote war on drugs will be the single largest and most important change in the law in my lifetime. It will positively change the city you live in, the country you live in, and the world that we all live in. It's hard to even wrap your mind around the changes this will bring about until you read this book. I think about all the unnecessary pain and suffering this war brought to us all, and I'm just glad I was able to stop it. And here's my mantra, here's my mission statement. Just say no, stand with Van Gogh against illegal prohibition. Because that's what it is, that's all it is, it's prohibition. Prohibition didn't work the first time, it sure as fuck ain't working right now, okay? It's been going on this time for 100 years, okay? I'll go toe-to-toe with anybody that wants to argue with me on that. We got to legalize all drugs, take them all off the black market, and make anything that people want to do to get high available at your local grocery store or head shop, okay? Period. That's all there is to it. The second thing that I like to promote is my website, because Travels with Carl, that book, and my website are all sort of spun together into this yarn of life that just goes faster and faster and faster. So it's www.vangogh, VANGOGH.inc, like Van Gogh Incorporated. Only it's not INC. That'd be too easy. It's .INK, ink, like printmaker. Because I have a bachelor's in fine arts in film and video, and I have a master's degree in printmaking. A master's in fine arts, MFA, baby. So there's my qualifications. There's what Travels with Carl is all about. There's my social political look on life. And now, let's get into the meat of the episode, okay? That only took 10 minutes. I'm on a roll today. And I got the bumper, I got the grill off of Carl. I'll be putting the battery in there in no time. That was a bitch. But this is what's exciting. So, I'm working at the Four Seasons in Boston. Okay, I just missed the fucking... I'm sorry. I'm working at the Four Seasons in Boston. I just missed meeting the Rolling Stones a year ago for the Voodoo Lounge tour when they stayed at the Four Seasons. I like to call it the Four Reasons. But anyway, I personally think the Four Seasons is a better, superior product than the Ritz-Carlton. But a lot of that just has to do with the fact that the Ritz-Carlton is old and stuffy, and they have a dress code, and you can't wear blue jeans inside the, inside the building. You have to wear a suit to go into the restaurant, to the main dining room. Now, some of these things might have changed since 1997. I doubt that they did, but here's the story. Isidore Sharp, who started the Four Seasons Hotel, he said, damn, the Ritz-Carlton has no competition whatsoever. He went after it. So now if you're wondering why there's a Ritz-Carlton and a Four Seasons next to each other in every city in the United States and around the world, that's why. Wherever the Ritz-Carlton goes, wherever the Four Seasons goes, the other one follows along to pick up the leftovers, because some guests attempt to check into the Ritz-Carlton thinking it's the best, fanciest, coolest, most expensive, best security hotel that they can go to. Then they find out they can't wear blue jeans at the bar, and they'll just check the fuck out and walk right across the public garden to the Four Seasons. Okay, seen that happen many times. So the Four Seasons is kind of young money, and the Ritz-Carlton is kind of the old money, but it's also kind of politically, I would say that the Ritz-Carlton is much more right-wing. They won't admit that, but one of my favorite analogies was that the Four Seasons, like a Ferrari, it can go into a corner at 120 miles an hour and adjust for the curve as it's going through. The Ritz-Carlton's more like a Bentley, and you're going through the corner at 60, 65, and it's kind of leering to the left from the suspension. And it can't make any adjustments in the corner at all. If you went in too fast, you're fucked. Okay. The Ritz-Carlton can't change as quickly as the Four Seasons, and it's just the way it's built, like a Ferrari versus a Bentley. The Four Seasons is meant to be flexible and malleable, and it changes with the times. Okay, so it's a brilliant plan. Plus, they went after the same money. Anything you want, if it's not illegal or immoral or unethical, and the latter two, a little flexibility there. You can get it, okay? Whatever it is, whatever you want. We don't even bring up how much it's going to cost because we know that they don't care. We're just going to get whatever they ask for, and they're going to pay for it. And there's no argument there. Okay, so here's what happened. I'm working at the Four Seasons, and I really want to become, again, I'm still hell-bent on becoming a security director, and I know I'm probably going to have to pass through the assistant director of security to get that job, and I'm not seeing that opening up anytime soon at the Four Seasons Boston, okay? And the only other game in town that's going to be a big step up for me from the Four Seasons is going to be the Ritz-Carlton. So all of the hotels in any big city, they share over an intelligence network, whether it's a group fax back in the days when they had fax machines, or some sort of we'll call you if something's happening that's likely to come your way. I'm sure now they have something on a Slack channels, or web-based maybe even, I don't know. But let's say the Ritz-Carlton is on this end of the public garden and the Four Seasons is on this side of the public garden. It's only a block away. Anything that goes wrong in our hotel is likely to later on go wrong at the Ritz-Carlton, or vice versa, because they're the same kind of money going around in there, and the same kind of criminals and the same kind of guests, okay? You have sophisticated criminals. If they're trying to take money from a guest at the Ritz-Carlton or the Four Seasons, they're not just some punk, some dummy, okay? There's somebody that knows what they're doing, usually, okay? Lots of exceptions to that rule, and internal theft is always, a dummy. That's always somebody that works at the hotel that decides to steal, food from the kitchen, but they put it in Royal Dalton China, If it had just been the food, probably would have let them go. But when you're stealing a Royal Dalton China as well as the food, then that's where, then you got to, it's like a fiduciary duty that I have to the hotel. And I don't want you to think the other day when I was talking about holding that dude down in Boston, 4 of us, that guy just had superhuman strength. I don't want you to think I'm a kind of cop, kind of security dude that is interested in arresting people or detaining people. No, quite the opposite. See, my theory was what you want to do is be able to look the other way. Don't write a report. I used to tell people, don't become a security, don't become an incident report, okay? You're right on the edge, but you're about to turn into an incident report. I used to tell people that all the time. I said, look, you don't want to get arrested. I don't want to write a report. Now move along. Stop panhandling the guests. Stuff like that. I used to give people a break. Prostitutes, I used to counsel them. I used to talk to them. Baby, you got to get out of this business. This is going to fucking kill you. Okay? Or somebody else will. I can help you. I can get you out of here. Don't worry about that pimp. You just get yourself on a bus and get the fuck out of here. Go to somewhere else. Go to Miami. Start a new life. You can do it. I used to coach people all the time. I mean, you can only coach a crackhead or, somebody that's addicted to cocaine or heroin, like Harmonica Man. You can only coach them so much. Although I did work with a lot of people with sobriety, especially other hotel employees, because as you know, I'm sober. May 1st this year will be, 26 years, baby. It's a long fucking time without a drink or a drug. I'm here to tell you. Anyway, here's the thing. I knew, because I used to go see Patrick Cawley, who was the security director at the Ritz-Carlton, which, by the way, here's what she looked like, okay? Now, this building here was the actual hotel. I'm sorry. This building here was the actual hotel. That's the John Hancock Towers back there. This was condominiums, also Ritz-Carlton. And here's the bridge going through the public garden. Fucking love the public garden in the spring and the summer, man. But this was the oldest Ritz in America. I think, that's what I was told anyway. Just read some conflicting information on Wikipedia, but I'm not sure. But anyway, it's old. I think it was like 1926 or something like that it opened, right before the stock market crashed. Bummer. But the doorman, my friend Norman the doorman, he was there for 50 years when I worked there. Okay, so here's what happened. I'm talking to Pat, and I look I know that Patrick doesn't have an assistant director of security, which every hotel that has a security director has an assistant director of security. And every hotel that has a garage manager, that has a parking garage, they have a garage manager, and the garage manager has an assistant manager, and lots of times they have supervisors. But Pat Cawley, on his desk, you know how business cards come in a box like about this big, like with like 500 cards or something? You know, Pat had 2 boxes of cards on his desk, and one had really nice cards too, the Ritz-Carlton logo in the center with that beautiful cobalt blue ink. It said Patrick Cawley, security director, Ritz-Carlton, Boston. You know, and all the phone numbers and address and all that shit. And then he had another box sitting right next to it. Patrick Cawley, again, the Ritz-Carlton logo there, garage manager. Being the smart ass that I am, I said, Pat, I see you got 2 boxes of cards there. I said, they cut you 2 checks every week? No, man. Got me 1 check, 2 jobs. Fucking cheap ass motherfuckers. I said, I feel your pain, Pat. Listen to this idea. I said, you need an assistant, don't you? No, you're hell right I do. They won't give me no assistant. I go, let me pitch this idea to you, Pat, and see if you could pitch this to them, because I think this is going to work. Okay, I need an assistant director of security job on my resume. Okay. You need an assistant security director. Okay, I can tell. It's wearing on you. And I'm going to throw in the assistant garage manager, okay? And they'd only have to give me 1 box of cards and just put Rich Van Gogh, assistant director of security / assistant garage manager. I go, I guarantee you, Pat, they're going to do it, because nobody else besides me is fucking stupid enough to do that, to offer to do that, okay? No disrespect to you, because, you know, you've been doing this for a while and, you know, it's all good, but they're working you like a fucking dog, bro. And I said, and I don't like to see that. You're a good guy, man. Now, me and Pat would go drink together, because I was still drinking at the time, along with Justin Ashley, who earned the nickname Just One Actually. Because if you say Just One Actually, it sounded a lot like Justin Ashley. I could do a whole fucking episode on Justin Ashley, but I'm going to spare you. Okay, he ended up getting fired, but he was a lot of fun while he was around. I'll tell you that. He could, if you needed a laugh, this motherfucker could make you laugh. Okay. I mean, it might be at your expense, but you'd be laughing nonetheless. Okay, so sometimes it hurt, but you're still laughing. So it's better than not laughing, the way I look at it. So sure enough, the Ritz-Carlton Boston hired me, and just true to form, 1 box of cards, Rich Van Gogh, assistant director of security / assistant garage manager. I had a pager, because we don't have cell phones yet, or that's not true. This was 1996. We had cell phones, but nobody could afford them. People were still carrying around the bag phones. Actually, I bought a Motorola flip phone later on that year, so it wasn't that far back, because I didn't want my wife to die in a snowstorm, and people actually died there in snowstorms. That's how fucking bad it snowed, and people would be out driving on 128 and get snowed in. Plows couldn't move them out. They fucking died in their car, man. Because people don't, you know, they're not everybody is like a Boy Scout, you know, they don't have sleeping bags and down coats and hats and gloves in their car thinking that they might get broken down. No, they think they're just going to have the FM radio on, pop in a CD, and drive through whatever comes their way. That's not true, man. That shit happens. So anyway, I did buy a Motorola flip phone, my first one, that year for my wife. But I had to carry what was called a Canamax pager that you could actually text into it. It wasn't just a pager that went beep, 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 it had a phone number. No, you could actually type stuff in there, and they had like a terminal in the office, or you could type a full message in there to somebody. But I had a pager 24/7, 365, and I was getting $27,000 a year salary. Now, if you do the fucking math on that, okay, bro, that's like a little over $2,000 a month. Okay, 24,000 is $2,000 a month. It was the last time that I ever did hotel security, and it was, and I can rest assured that I'll never do hotel security again for the rest of my life. So be careful what you ask for, okay? There it was. It took me from, 1989, 1990 to 1996, 97 to get to the assistant director of hotel security. Now, of course, I'll admit, if I'd have landed the job at the Sheraton Boston, I would have been making $60,000 as the director. They almost let me skip right over the assistant director of security, because I told them anybody that would put cameras in a bathroom trying to catch somebody dealing some fucking cocaine in the hotel locker room is a fucking idiot. And chances are most of the other people in the security department are still fucking idiots. Of course, I didn't tell them that, but that's what I was thinking. But anyway, I finished strong, and I knew that I was going back to Hawaii. My wife and I had decided at that point that I had spent long enough in Massachusetts, and she had passed her oral exam for the PhD candidate, and all she had to do was write their dissertation, and I was going to go back to Hawaii first. She was going to come join me, and and then it was going to be my turn. I was going to go back to school and get my MFA, get my master's degree, or whatever, or grow coffee on the Big Island and buy some land, or whatever it was. That was our plan, that we were going to go back to Hawaii, because neither one of us wanted to live in Massachusetts. Hell, I wouldn't live in Massachusetts now if you fucking paid me. Okay? I mean, I saw it snow one time 3 feet in one snowfall. Okay? And that's when I was at the Four Seasons, actually. We would start at one end of the block with a snowblower and walk to the other end of the block. And by the time you got to the other end of the block, you just turn around and blow snow back the other direction. And we did that round the clock one time, 24-hour shifts. And one guy driving a Bobcat, a front end bulldozer, a little baby front end loader. Yeah, they're fun to drive, but not in the snow. Anyway, that's it, man. That was the Ritz-Carlton Boston, and was my assistant director's security job, and be careful what you ask for lesson in life, and my pathetic $27,000 a year salary, when I realized at that moment that I could make twice as much money as a bellman without even trying, and never write another report in my life. And just get people buckets of ice and tell them how to turn their television on, and what's a great place to eat in the city, and what check-in times were, and where the pool was located, and how they got their car back from the valet and stuff like that. So stay tuned for next episode. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be job 30. It's kind of like a milestone, man. I mean, this year is just flying by. 30 jobs. Next week will be 30 next Saturday it'll be 30 jobs, and I'll try and get it to you on Saturday. I really will. And I'll try and have a painting. But right now I'm not promising anything. If you knew how busy I was, you would just go, don't worry about it, Rich. We'll see him when you're all done. But I'm going to get back on track. I've just been overwhelmed, and I can't tell you what I'm doing right now because I'd be giving away the business that I'm doing right now, and it just feels wrong to me. So I know you're all out there. I love you all so much, and thanks for watching Travels with Carl. Please do me a big favor and help the brother out. Like it, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, if you can share it, because I think I've got like 32 subscribers so far, okay? I need a couple thousand, you know, like 5 or 10,000. So I'm a little bit light. But let's ride, man. Let's get on it. Let's talk about it later. Have a beautiful weekend. I guess the weekend's pretty much over. Have a great week. I'll see you next weekend, and let's ride, baby.